Hi guys, welcome to Ignite India. Today the expert session is taken by Mr. Anand sir. Sir, we welcome you here. You can start the session now.
Good evening, guys. Wave. Thank you. Great. So, I believe you guys understood the previous class of logical reasoning on clocks, and I'll be sharing you questions once we complete calendars also. Okay. So after that, I'll be sharing you a set of questions. Let's say around 30 questions on clocks and calendars combined, so that you can practice and get used to that concept. So today's class is again continuation on numbers as a topic, right? And what we are going to do, we are going to continue factors, right? And let's start. Okay. So till now we have completed classification of numbers and understanding prime numbers and getting into introducing ourselves into HCF and LCM models. Now where we are coming now is we are going to come across factors as a topic, right? So whom I can see in my screen, I can see Nirupama, I can see Mitushi, and I can see Shubhankar. So when I am not audible, you know what to do, right? Raise your hand. Great. So factors, what kind of questions come in factors, and what exactly is a factor? So we'll come back to this again. We did connect to this when we were into HCF, but let's understand. So what are factors? For example, if I take a number like 12, a number that can divide 12 is called as factor of 12, right? So I know that this list of numbers that I have written down is a factor of 12. So if anyone tells me what is the total number of factors of 12, I can know from this list that the total number of factors of 12 is 6. So there are 6 factors for 12, right? So similarly, if I ask you how many factors exist for, let's say, number 24, can you list it down and tell me how many factors are that for 24? Put it in the chat, the number of factors. Don't put the factors, put the total number of factors in the chat box. Factors for 24. How many numbers can divide 24? Sanika says 12, Pritika says 7, Akriti says 8. Is there any other number? So many are saying 7, 8, and 12. Let's see. Jesse, 420. 420 numbers can divide 24? I doubt, Jesse. I'm looking at numbers which can divide 24. Factors means numbers which can divide 24. So how many numbers can divide 24? So 8 is what the maximum number of people are saying. So those who have said 7 and 12, can you recheck and say whether you got it right or is it 8? I don't know. I have to write down and figure it out. 8? Okay, so let's see. What are the values that divide 24? Remember this. We started with when we came across 1 and 0. What was the first information we said? That 1 can divide all the numbers. So your factors will always start from 1. Okay, don't miss this, because if you miss this, you miss a big train. 24 being even obviously is divisible by 2, 3, 4, 6. Now when you come to this space, I want you all to concentrate on the screen and now look into it. When you come to this space, do you realize that 4 into 6 gives me 24? Which means I'm having two numbers next to each other whose product is 24, and thus, so how will the rest of the numbers flow? So if these two numbers multiply and give me 24, then 3 into something should give me 24. 2 into something should give me 24. and 1 into something should give me 24. So once I come across two numbers which are next to each other and whose product is giving me that particular number, then the series will expand based on the series behind it. I repeat, the series will expand based on the series behind it. Why is this important? So that I remember that I will never miss out on any number. I will never ever miss out on any number. Okay, so now I see that there are 8 factors for 24. Great, so we were able to do this. Can you all tell me quickly what is the number of factors for 96? How many factors for 96? Shubhankar, what happened? Dreaming something? Guys, doesn't matter whether you get it right or wrong. I want you to try it. Figure it out how many. Just because 96 is a big number, don't miss out. Okay? 12? Right, great. So you have 12 factors for 96. Now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and it keeps going on this way, right? So I have to write all the 12 factors. Okay, let me write down so that we have a good understanding of it. 8, 12, what else? 16,
24.
right? Now, if you see here, 8 12s are 96. So you got two numbers which are next to each other and whose product is 96. So now how will the series proceed? The series will proceed on the same way that the series was in the past. So I have to see 6 into what gives me 96? 6 into 16 gives me 96. 4 into what gives me 96? 4 into 24 gives me 96. 3 into what gives me 96? 3 into 32 gives me 96. 2 into 48 gives me 96. And 1 into 96 gives me 96. And thus I end up getting all the list of numbers which can divide 96, and there are 12 such factors. Great guys, got this? But you will be able to figure out here that when we started with 12, it was very easy, right? Because it had a very limited small number, because 12 being a small number, it was pretty straightforward. When we went to 24, it was also pretty straightforward because it was not that a large number. But when it came to 96, I have to list down a very huge set of numbers. Now just imagine that if I give you 196, I'm sure that most of you will not even attempt this, right? Rather than writing all the numbers till 196. So there should be some way in which I can generate number of factors in a very, very simple manner. So how do we generate number of factors in a very simple, okay? I'm taking the example of 96 itself. Look at what are the factors of 96. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, 32, 48, 96. These were the factors of 96. If you look at very closely all these factors, you will realize that the factor 2 is nothing but 2 power 1. The factor 4 is nothing but 2 square. The factor 8 is nothing but 2 cube. And the factor 16 is nothing but 2 power 4. Do you all agree till here? No doubts? If you have a doubts, please unmute and ask. Then you have factor 3, which is 3 power 1. Then you have a 6 here. And I know 6 is nothing but 2 into 3. Right? 6 is nothing but 2 into 3. Then I have a 12 here. 12 is nothing but 4 into 3. So 2 into 3 gives me 6. 4 into 3 gives me 12. And then I have a 24 here, and 24 is nothing but 8 into 3. And I have a 32 here, and 32 is nothing but, 2 power 5. And then I have a 48 here, and 48 is nothing but 16 threes are. And I have a 96 here, and 96 is nothing but 32 threes are. So all the factors that you have in your hand from 2 is there in this particular category of set of numbers. But there is one factor which is not in this set of numbers, and which is number 1. Right? 1 is the factor here which doesn't belong to any of these sets. So can you tell me, can you guys think and tell me how I can bring 1 into these sets if it doesn't belong to 2 power 1, 2 squared, 2 cubed, 2 power 4, 2 power 5? Right, thank you. Or 3 power 1. How do I try to bring 1 into these sets? So 1 can be 2 power 0, because any value, any natural number to the power of 0 is 1, right? Which means I can also bring 1 as 3 power 0. Right? So I can have a 2 power 0 to 2 power 5, or I can have a 3 power 0. Now if you realize that when I take any value from this portion and multiply with one of these values, I get one of the factors that exist here. 2 power 0 into 3 power 0. Okay, I'll use a different color for you to understand this. 2 power 0 into 3 power 0 gives me 1. 2 power 0 into 3 power 1 gives me 3. 2 power 1 into 3 power 0 gives me 2. 2 power 1 into 3 power 1 gives me 6. 2 square into 3 power 0 gives me 4. 2 square into 3 power 1 gives me 12. And thus when I start multiplying anything that from the left to the right side, I am getting these factors. Now, how many values do you find on the left hand side? That is, how many powers of 2 do you find on the left hand side? 6 powers of 2. And how many powers of 3 do you find on the right hand side? 2 powers of 3. So what are you multiplying? You are multiplying 6 powers of 2 with 2 powers of 3. How many, what is the value you get? 12, which is nothing but your total number of factors. Did you guys understand this? So how do I find the number of factors in a very simple way, right? I will go back so that you guys understand here. I'm going to erase this particular screen so you guys understand clearly. So how do I find the number of factors? So let's assume that I have to find the number of factors of 96. So first is I will factorize 96, right? 48, 2, 24, 2, 12, 2, 6, 2, 3. Which means once I factorize 96, I can write 96 as 2 power 5 into 3 power 1. Okay. Now, what is the power of 2 here? 5. Add 1 to it. What is the power of 3 here? 1. Add 1 to it. What is the value you get? 6 into 2. What is this? 12. That is the total number of factors of 96. Now, do you realize, do you know why am I adding this 1? Do you see how many factors of 2 power, how many powers of 2 was there with you? 5 powers of 2, 2 power 1 to 2 power 5. But how did it become 6? Because what did you add?
2 power 0.
You added a 2 power 0, correct? That's why in that this 5 powers of 2 became 6. How many powers of 3 you had in your hand? Only 1 power of 3. But how many it became? 2. Why? Because you added 3 power 0. Which means no matter what power of 2 do you have, do you need to add 1? Why you need to add 1? Because you need to bring the power 0 here. Do you need to add 1? Why you need to add 1? Because you need to bring the power of 0 here. And thus, whatever power you have, add 1 to it. Whatever power you have, add 1 to it, and then multiply it with two values. That will become the number of factors for the number 96 or any other number. Did we understand this, guys? Okay, let's see one more example before we go into the general format of it. So let's assume that I am talking about 120. What is 120 made out of? 120 is nothing but 60, 30, 15, 3, 5, 1. So 120 is typically made out of 2 cube into 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. So how many powers of 2 I have? 3 powers of 2 I have, but I have to add one more to it because I have to introduce 2 power 0. There is only 1 power of 3 that I have, but I have to add one more to it because I have to introduce 3 power 0. And there is 1 power of 5 that I have, but I have to add one more to it to introduce 5 power 0. So what is the total I have now? 4 into 2 into 2, and that brings 16. So there are 16 factors of 120. I hope we are all clear. Certain things that you have to remember is number. Yes, please.
Sir, 4 into 2 into 2. How much?
4 into 2. How did I get
Sir.
4 into 2 into 2?
Sir, no, sir. Upper part 3 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1. How that, sir?
Okay, so if you look at this, what happened in the previous question? What you have to do, whom I'm speaking to, what's the name?
My name is Shivadwaj.
Okay. Right, so Shiva, look at this. What you got to do is, did you understand how you wrote this? You have to divide 120, you have to factorize 120 basically.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
keep dividing 120 till you get 1.
Okay, sir.
Now, once you have done that, how many powers of 2 do you have? 3. So
3.
you write as 2 cube. How many 3's you have? 1. So 3 power 1. How many 5's you have? 1. So 5 power 1. Clear? Once you
Yes,
have
sir.
written the Shiva, then take the power. What is the power here? 3.
3.
So add 1 to it. Why am I adding 1? Because I want to introduce 2 power 0 in the power of 2.
Yes, sir.
See, I already have 2 power 1, 2 square, 2 cube. Because 3 powers of 2. But I want to introduce 2 power 0. And that's why 3 powers becomes, how many powers of 2 do you see now? 4. So this will become 4 powers. So how many 3's do you have? 1 3 you have. So
Yes,
you
sir.
add 1 to it. How much do you have now? 2. How many
2.
5's you see? 1 5 you see. Add 1 to it. How much it becomes now? 2. Multiply
Yes,
this entire thing. That is the total number of factors that you have in your hand.
Okay.
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 Now, I'm again going to do one more for you all to understand this. Okay. Those who have understood, good. Those who haven't understood, please try to understand now. Let's take any other number. Let's say I am talking about 240. It's important that I break 240 into prime factors. Please remember prime factors. What does prime factor mean? That I have to divide either by 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Means I have to divide these values only with prime numbers. Okay, that's what prime factors means. I have to divide this value only by prime numbers. So now, how many powers of 2 I have? I have 4 powers of 2. How many 3's? 1 3. And how many 5's? 1 5. So what is my total number of factors? Take this 4, add 1 to it. Take this 1, add 1 to it. Take this 1, add 1 to it. So what do I have? I have a 5 into 2 into 2, and that makes it 20. So there are 20 factors of 240. Right? So I presume that because I'm seeing your answers, most of you got it right. So I'm assuming that all of you have understood the way to find the number of factors of a number. So if I want to generalize this, so how do I generalize the number of factors, right? I generalize the number of factors as, if you have a number, first write the number in this format. If you see, this format is the same format that you see here for 240. Okay, it is the same format. So first write the number in this format. But what is the condition of ABC? ABC should be prime factors. Basically, factors which are prime numbers. Which means I cannot write 24 as 4 into 2 into 3. Because 4 is not a prime number. I neither can write this as 2 square into 2 into 3. Even though 2 and 2 are prime number, I cannot write it this way because all prime numbers should come under one bracket. So you cannot write it as 2 square into 2. You have to write it as 2 cube into 3. Did you understand this? This is a flaw that many people do, because now if you look at the left hand side, this is also a prime number, right? No one can say no to this. But the condition is that all numbers should come under one single category. So every power of 2 should be under 1, power of 3 should be under 1, power of 4 should be under 1, and so on. So forth. Sorry, no power of 4. 4 is not a prime number. So power of 3, power of 5, and so on. So forth. Now, once I have done this, then I have to take the power, add 1 to it, take the power, add 1 to it, take the power, add 1 to it, and multiply all of them. That's what becomes your number of factors. I hope you are all clear. 10 seconds, 15 seconds to each one of you. If you're not clear, please unmute yourself and ask it out. Someone is drawing something on my throat. Great. Okay. Now, so I want you guys to find the number of factors for certain values that I'm going to give. Let's say 72. Okay. 196. 420. 144. 220. And 256. Don't type the answer now, guys. First solve all the 6 of them, right? And then we will, when I ask one by one, you type the answer. Jesse, which part of the country are you in? Am I being audible, guys? Jim, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Oh, okay, great, thanks. So 220. Now suddenly Jesse asked me, how is Corona there? So I was wondering, which part of the country are you in? Okay, great. So I hope all of you got this breakup, right, of the values 72, 196, 420, 144, 220, 256. So once we have got this breakup, we now know what kind of number of factors we are talking about. 72 will have 4 3s are 12. I will use a different color here to catch your attention. So 12 is the total number of factors for 72. 3 3s are 9 is the total number of factors for 196. 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12, 12 2s are 24 is the total number of factors for 420. 5 3s are 15 is the total number of factors for 144. 3 2s are 6, 6 2s are 12 is the total number of factors for 220. And 9 is the total number of factors for 256. I hope all of you got this. Anyone has a doubt, please unmute and ask. No, all of you are good. You're clear with what you have done. Right, great. Now, suddenly everyone's video is off. I don't know why. Anyway, so all of you are clear with this. Now tell me this. All of you got this, right? No doubts? Okay. Now, the point is this, guys. Do you realize or do you see something strange in this entire example that we took? You realize that this value, this value, this value. The number of factors for this is odd. 144 has odd number of factors. There are 15 of them. 196 has odd number of factors. There are 9 of them. 256 has odd number of factors. There are 9 of them. Whereas the rest of them, 12, 24, 12, they have even number of factors. Do you know what does it signify? The
Perfect.
numbers. Yes, sorry, please.
These are perfect squares.
Yeah. So the numbers which have odd number of factors, okay, they are always perfect squares. Okay, the numbers which have odd number of factors are always perfect squares, and non-perfect squares will always have even number of factors, which means that why is this important for me? So when there is a question says, okay, there is a number n which has 3 factors. When someone gives me a question of this nature that n has 3 factors, the first thing that I know, I don't want to know what n is, but first thing I know is n is a perfect square. Why? Because it has 3 factors. It may be any value. That is my second step of observation. But the first of observation is that n is a perfect square. Means, let's assume that the question now says n has 3 factors and n is less than 100. Okay, so let's start. Let me say that I'm throwing a question to you guys, saying that I want to erase something. Let me erase this. saying that n has 3 factors and a perfect, the 3 factors and less than 100. How many values of n? So n has 3 factors and is a value less than 100. Can you tell me how many values of n are there? Akriti says 8, 4, Hema says 8, Diya says 1. Okay, how about the others? Okay, we will come to this in a while. Okay, right, it's okay guys. So let's look into how to solve. I'll give one more question after this and that you guys have to solve. Now, remember this format? Can you look at this format? Can you now tell me that if n has to be written as a power p, and if n has 3 factors, can you tell me, do you agree that p value should be 2? All of you? Do you agree that p value should be 2? Means n has to be means n has to be a square. Do you agree with this factor, this part? That if n is a square, only then n can have 3 factors. Because remember, come back to your learning of factors. How did we find the number of factors? We took the power, added 1 to it, right? So we took the power and added 1 to it, and that's how it becomes 3 factors. Great. So I know that n has to be a square. And what is the condition of a, guys? That a has to be a prime number. Okay. So let's say a can be 2, a can be 3, a can be 5, a can be 7, a cannot be 11. I hope you know why a cannot be 11. Because if a is 11, 11 square becomes 121, and you are talking about n, which is less than 100. So how many values are you able to create? Just 4 different values. And that's why n value is only 4.
Sir,
Yes?
can you explain that again?
Okay. So how were we able to find the number of factors? When you write n as a power p into b power q into c power r and so on and so forth, right? What is the condition of a, b, c? They are prime numbers. And how do you find the number of factors? You take the power and add 1 to it, take the power, add 1 to it, take the power, add 1 to it, and so on and so forth. Now, how many factors are you talking about? 3 factors. Okay. How can 3 come? 3 can come only because of a square. Is there any other way I can get 3 factors? There is no other way I can get 3 factors. Okay. So n has to be a square. Now what is the condition of a? A, B, C, all of them should be prime numbers. So a also should be a prime number. Okay. Now what are the prime numbers from 1 to 100? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Someone is playing with the screen. Can you just stop playing with the screen because I need the screen size. 13 and so on. These are all prime numbers. Okay. Now, so if I say a is 2, then n can be 2 square. If I say a is 3, n can be 3 square. If I say a is 5, n can be 5 square. Remember, a cannot be 4 because 4 is not a prime number. If I say a is 7, n will be 7 square. Now remember this condition that it should be less than 100. Now all these values, 2 square which is 4, 3 square which is 9, 5 square which is 25, 7 square which is 49, they are all less than 100. But the next prime number is 11. And what is 11 square? 121. Greater than 100. So you cannot have 11. Now, if you cannot have 11, you cannot have anything more than 11, right? Because 11 itself is creating a prime number. You cannot have anything more than 11 coming there. So you can have only this 1, 2, 3, 4 as a set of values. Now, did you understand this? The person who asked the doubt, I don't remember, I don't recollect your name. Shiva, did you ask the doubt?
Sorry, sir, there's 1 minute left for the session. Can we just restart it again?
Log out and log in? Yes, please.
Yes.
I can.
Guys, please just rejoin the link again. And again, please stop using the screen share. I'm the host, I record, and if I'll go back, I can get the name of the student. So this is not your school classes, and I'm not stupid, so stop playing with the screen. Thanks. Rejoin the link.